World of Titans is a new indie MMO that is full of references to World of Warcraft and Blizzard. Titan was once a project codename for a new game that Blizzard was working on, but that never saw the light of day. If you look at the many planned features, the parallels become very clear. But what exactly makes World of Titan stand out? That's exactly what we'll be discussing in detail in this video. Let's start with all the information known so far. There is an older gameplay footage from 2022, but it has since been deleted from the official channel. Probably the graphics and content were heavily updated, and the old footage is no longer representative of the current state of the game. Still, I've included some of the old material here so you can see more than just the same trailer over and over again. As for the general setting, the Honored are fighting against the Forsaken. The Honored include humans, highborn elves, dwarves, and the Titanborn. On the opposing side are orcs, shadow elves, the Hollowborn, and the Phosworn humans, essentially a form of undead. The playable classes include warrior, paladin, hunter, assassin, cleric, druid, and necromancer. Each class is said to have a talent tree followed by an advanced skill tree. With these classes, the Holy Trinity is clearly present, and the maximum level at launch will be 60. Overall, the developers place a strong emphasis on lore. Even now, there are many and very long texts about the creation of the world, current events, and lore entries about the most important characters you'll encounter in the game. According to the founder, the world building and storytelling are strongly inspired by Tolkien. In terms of gameplay, there will be dungeons and raids with challenging mechanics and bosses, gear with set bonuses, world bosses, gathering and crafting, and various PvP elements. These include faction battles in the open world, as well as battlegrounds. What particularly caught my attention were the legendary quests, which are meant to be long quest chains that reward players with especially powerful, legendary items at the end. In addition, reputation systems, mounts, and of course groups and guilds are planned. Taking all of this together, you can no longer just speak of parallels to World of Warcraft, it's almost a copy. The one element where World of Titans clearly differentiates itself is the weapon system. The game uses dual wielding, meaning players can switch between weapons during combat. They also promise particularly complex AI battles where enemies group together, buff each other, move out of area of effect attacks, and generally behave in a less predictable way. Whether this will truly work remains to be seen, since the reveal trailer doesn't really show much of the combat system yet. According to the developers, the World of Titans team mainly consists of MMO veterans who long for a new title that recaptures the old days while using modern technology. Their clear goal is a thing like a modern World of Warcraft Classic. And honestly, I think that's a really good idea. Instead of creating a new private server where WoW elements are rearranged and maybe a bit of new content is added, they're working directly on their own original title. A game can absolutely be inspired by others as long as it develops enough of its own identity and style. That would also likely avoid monetization controversies like the one seen with Turtle WoW. The exact release date of this new MMO is currently unknown. The first external tests are planned for 2026. The game is planned to release on PC directly on Steam. A mobile version is explicitly ruled out, as the studio head emphasized on Discord. As for monetization, nothing is set in stone yet. Possibilities include a subscription model or a shop, but completely without pay to win. What they definitely want to avoid, however, are NFTs and crypto. This statement is especially important because there is a connection between Arc AG Studios and the game titanreach. titanreach was intended to be an old-school MMO and spent several years in development, during which many things went wrong. When the studio ran out of money, details about a possible NFT-based version of the game surfaced as a way to save it. While Arc AG Studios is a completely different company with a new development team, they did acquire certain rights and assets from titanreach. There is therefore a connection between the two games. However, it was emphasized on Discord that development has since gone in a different direction, and that the projects are not linked in terms of content. In the end, the lingering question remains, can World of Titans replicate the success of WoW? And I think we can all agree no. The team is too small, the financial resources are too limited, and an indie game simply can't offer the massive amount of content that WoW has built up over 20 years. Still, it could become an interesting alternative, either to pass the time between updates and other games, or perhaps even to settle long-term into a new community. On the Steam page, the game states, World of Titans is designed as a long-term home for MMO fans. Clear paths, challenging group content, meaningful progression, and seasonal updates that keep the world moving. And finding a new, lasting home is exactly what many MMO fans are looking for. What do you think of the core idea, creating a newer, modernized version of World of Warcraft Classic from scratch? Does the concept appeal to you? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments.